Hi everyone, Jose here from Creative Music Improvisation Programs. Today I want to share with you some of the conversations I've had lately with different pianists. And those pianists were not necessarily looking for typical ways of improvising, but rather expressing the music of their souls, expressing themselves creatively without the boundaries of any specific style or wanting to sound good and right. And this is a big topic because tutorials on YouTube and everywhere are designed to improvise in the classical, in the jazz, in the pop, with chord progressions and all these styles. So this is different maybe to think that you can express yourself creatively without wanting to know exactly what you're doing. And there are ways to do it, and I'm going to share with you not maybe all the ways, but a few ways you could try to sit at the piano and be with yourself and listen to what wants to come out and maybe be surprised by just doodling around and not necessarily having any specific goal in mind. Apparently, Joni Mitchell was finding new sounds that way. She was just sitting with her guitar or maybe sometimes at the piano. I don't know if she was playing, but I mean, that's what I was told, that she was finding new sounds by just playing around and not necessarily um, finding the chords and the theory behind the chords. I'm not saying that this is not good. Of course, there's a whole new path in music theory and jazz, pop, and even classical where we can find about the theory. But this is rather what I'm sharing with you, creative expression, and there's just like free improvisation, so no specific theory behind it. So I'm going to share with you my keyboard, but I suggest that if you try at home, closing your eyes, because sometimes the listening comes more easily by closing your eyes. And also closing your eyes because for some pianists, finding the chords are so easy that we know exactly when we're looking at the keys where to put our hands on. But, just by closing your eyes, you're kind of free to explore different patterns and different sounds without necessarily finding specific chords. It's also good for anyone who's super busy. I've talked to teachers who are so busy with preparing students' material that sometimes they just want to sit and express themselves at the piano. So here we go. So one of the ways you can start is by just putting your hands, and I suggest that you breathe first and you just let your hands fall anywhere. And maybe it's going to sound dissonant. And then maybe you can find the next sound you'd like to explore. And maybe find a new bass. And then explore different registers and sing in and maybe use your voice. And then sometimes stop and listen to what wants to come again. Maybe you'll find a repeated ostinato you want to play with. And maybe an ostinato is a rhythmic pattern. And maybe you want to find a melody that goes with it. if you have any imagery of something flying, a bird flying. So, I didn't do anything so special or so special, meaning something you would play for someone, and that could be also something you play for someone. What I mean, there's no end goal in doing it besides the process of doing it. And you just let your ear and your senses guide you. Am I seeing a color? Am I feeling something? Do I want to explore this sound? Am I feeling myself? I'm a melodic person. I used to sing for 10 years opera. And so the melody is coming very easily to me, but you could be more into rhythms and grooves and, something like something and see where it leads you, kind of a blues, and it could start with a story, a poem. So anything that stimulates your creativity, you could start with, and just exploring without knowing necessarily what it is, but just like a kid would draw, just something like a drawing of a zone, and he's so proud of showing you, but there's no specific goal in it, but just playing for the sake of it. And the more you do it, the more you find your own sound, what you like, the patterns you like, the sounds you like, the chords you like. And then you can start maybe new improvisations with those. So let's explore together. And this week, maybe I'm inviting you to share in this group anything that you would play for yourself and that you would love to share with the group without any judgment. And I encourage people to like also these videos, so feel free to share anything that you would love to experiment with, and we're gonna see where it leads us. And so I'm encouraging you to unleash your own creativity, and this is what I love to do with my students, and exposing them to different styles and exposing them to different approaches of improvisation. But the overarching goal is that they find their own sound. So enjoy your sound, everyone.